Hi everyone, welcome to Meta Interview with Klara Kopi. Today I'm here with Chloe. She's the founder of the Marma J Foundation. Welcome, Chloe.
Hey there, Klara.
How are you?
Doing well, thanks. And you?
I'm fine too.
Awesome.
Like I said, I'm getting used to this looking at the camera.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Let's have fun, good time.
I'm sure it'll be great.
So, so first things first. Tell us a bit about your background. Where do you come from? Your choices. What led you to where you are today?
Wow, big question. um, yeah, so I guess my background has nothing to do with like Web3 or crypto or tech whatsoever, mostly. I spent the majority of my life playing soccer, like football. And I coached after that, after I decided that playing professionally wasn't for me. I wanted to kind of settle down, try and build a community. I thought coaching might be a good way to do it. I loved working with kids for a long time. I have like 10 younger siblings. I'm the oldest of
Whoa.
11. Yeah, and so big family. But being the oldest sibling of so many, I've always loved like supporting those around me, being around a lot of people and having like a vibrant community to like also support me as well. And so when I learned about crypto, I guess about 2017, I want to say, I always dates are not the best for me, but a few years ago, um, I guess I got lucky. I was just between like gigs. I was moving a lot at the time, and I got offered a position to be a technical analyst for somebody, and basically reading lots and lots of white papers and deciding if things were worth investing into. So at this point in time, there was a lot of hype, a lot of scams. I mean, just like there is now, I guess.
Yeah.
But these waves come and go, and so this was during a big wave, and so I was learning a lot about different projects, and we were seeing lots of money invested into projects. Many failed. Well, being here for a little while, it's been kind of cool seeing some of the products that have succeeded, trying to understand why they've succeeded, and through everything, being involved with so many different projects, trading for a while, researching in the Ethereum blockchain for a bit, and then kind of following Mintbase over to Near a little bit in the creative side of things. And then actually working at the Near Foundation on the community team for a little while. I realized that community really tends to be like the heartbeat of any ecosystem. So whether it's a really big family that's able to support each other in times of need, or whether it's a really vibrant guild ecosystem that can support each other with payout proposals, or how to use new Web3 tooling, or whatever kind of crazy stuff. I'm sure as you've been using Near here and there, there's always
I
something
love
new
it.
that you run into. And having a community to support you makes things a little bit less scary,
It's everything.
and a little smoother. And so realizing that, I realized that I would also like to build my community and my family on the Near ecosystem if possible. I mean, I love experimenting with blockchain tech. I think that everyone should at least have the skill set of using the blockchain, just like using the internet, just like typing, just like being able to use an app or the app store. You don't have to use it every day, all day like I do. Like I'm like literally sending hundreds of transactions a day, like manually by my ledger. But I let what I do full time. But everyone should know how to, take part in a community NFT project to raise funds for a local charity. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so at the Marma J Foundation and the Marma J DAO, we really try and just educate guilds, communities, people with how to use this stuff and how to build self-sustaining communities, hopefully.
And that's very helpful. I saw your website.
Thank you.
You can help me.
My fiance
It's
does
awesome.
99% of the work there. I'll have to admit, I
I love
rarely
it.
even type a single thing there or design anything. I'm there to support with like words and like content, but she is the mastermind behind everything.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Well, yeah, I'll pass the message along. And Tabea as well.
So,
Tabea writing the guides as well. Top notch. Tabea, you're awesome.
oh, she's great, right? She's all over and she's so nice.
I know. She's amazing. Luckily, I met her in person,
Yeah.
and she's awesome. I'll have to go get to Lisbon again so we can
Oh,
hang out.
I'm going to interview her too. She seems really great.
That is a
I'm
wonderful idea.
loving,
I would
yeah,
love
I'm
to.
loving
I would love. I
talking to
want to
you
watch
guys.
that one too. I'm excited now.
Oh, yay. So tell me a bit. Well, you talk about a bit how it was a transition to your previous work area.
Hmm.
It has nothing to do with Web3 or blockchain.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask this question, so you're already been there a bit. So how does this affect you? This change of life, like you were doing all that before you came to the blockchain, and how did it change your daily life, your work? How was that for you?
I'd say that not much has really changed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wild. Like I feel like I was always very busy
Mhm.
as like a coach, you know, going from field to field, trying out different experiments, trying out different plans, educating different teams and communities on how to use the tools around them to
Now I
achieve
see the
goals,
resemblance.
move on. So I've kind of always been doing this coaching and teaching and communities thing. Blockchain has just made it a lot more efficient, which is honestly the reason I do it. So now I'm able to experiment and support communities, and those communities are able to go and support themselves by what they've learned in the ecosystem and the skills they have. Like the whole old adage, like, you know, teach a man to fish kind of thing. Like, I really feel like that's true in the blockchain space. And I think just because things move so fast, where, you know, you're able to spin up a DAO within, I mean, you can have a Telegram group full of 50 people around an idea within half an hour. Um, you can crowd fund, you can use like the tip bot, right, to crowd fund 5 near for your idea
Oh,
within the
yeah.
next hour with a purpose, and people can be using Canva, making designs, and all of a sudden you have a council with a treasury. Let's say someone's in a different guild is really nice, and they give you, you know, 30 near, and let's just, you know, so get started with some Twitter stuff, and you get some people excited and started, and all of a sudden within a few hours you can kind of just have this idea set up with very little risk but a lot of momentum, like a lot of, you know, people throwing ideas up, and if it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. Who cares? We tried something and we had fun. And I think, honestly, I think a lot of it like gaming.
Everyone
And
learns in the
yeah, like
process.
you play World of Warcraft, you hop into a party. It might be a terrible party. You might just hop in and be like, this is not for me. And you just hop back out, right? And that's okay. But there should be incentives for staying in the group and
Yeah.
participating, even more incentives. Maybe you really like some people you're partying with, you start a guild together, you party with them often, there's even larger incentives. But with the blockchain, those incentives can pay your bills, and I think that's the largest difference. Yeah, right. I mean, at the end of the day, we all have, physical needs to meet, and when you can get a community together where everyone is creating what they're passionate about, being able to support each other in, yes, creative ways and inspiring ways, but also like meeting each other's physical needs by coming together and supporting each other. I think that's a super cool thing. And I think DAOs allow you to do
Brilliant.
that. And I think that luckily, not much has changed in my personal life. I'm inside a little bit too much, maybe, but honestly, these days I can work from Telegram most of the time. So I try and just go walk the dog and work from my phone out there. So
I have cats. They don't walk outside. Sometimes I miss a dog because I would go.
see, that's the life hack. You gotta get it. So like, yeah, we rescued our dog from Antigua. You gotta get a dog because once you have one, they guilt trip you into going out and exploring nature and seeing new things every day. And
Go walk, right?
it's sometimes it's super annoying. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got a dog. But you like,
I love animals. They're
yeah,
so
you always
great.
love it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you what you think of dogs, but you already, well,
Oh
you are
gosh, love dogs.
you are answering my questions before
We're
I
just
ask them. That's great.
sending
Yeah.
signals back and forth. But no, when we were in Antigua, it's like we had a pack of about 15 dogs that we were feeding and taking care of every day, and that was super fun. So I think we're gonna have to do that again, because
A lot of
that
dogs.
was a fun time. I do love dogs, and so does my fiance. So
Oh, that's great.
good to go.
Yeah, me and my husband, we love animals, but for now we have cats. But one
Okay,
day when I
cats are
have a
good.
house,
My
yeah,
fiance said she might want a cat soon, so we'll see. How many cats do you have?
I have to.
Two cats. Okay. Nice.
But
I
when I
had a
when I
cat when I
have a
was young.
house, I will want to have a dog.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
tiny a
So
tiny apartment. Dogs, I don't know if they would like here very much.
that's
The
true.
dogs
They need
like to
a
run, right? So it would be better with a little bit more space.
little more space for sure. You can get a little small dog, a little like apartment dog too.
Yeah, maybe we can think about that. So you're involved in any other DAOs? You have Marma J Foundation, and are you in any other DAOs?
Yeah. So these days, I have been focusing mainly on the Marma J DAO, and then the Marma J
Mm-hmm.
DAO is, of course, on the Creatives DAO Council. So I'm involved heavily there. I do sit on a few other DAOs that I vote on from time to time, like the Cheddar DAO, for that like community staking platform, and we hope to get the Marma J community involved there in the future. I also sit on some other DAOs that I just support from like a management side of things. So like the onboarding DAO, I just kind of help INA DAO.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the council, I support the management, but they're doing amazing things. And I can't really say that I've been involved in it too much. I think that they're doing great, but a lot of what I do on some of the other DAOs I'm on is just, help with voting, help get things set up. And then hopefully they kick me off soon, and then go off and do their own decentralized thing. But soon I'm going to be starting another DAO with a secondary sales NFT marketplace coming on near called The Auction.
The
So it's like
auction.
the-auction.io. And it's a secondary sales marketplace coming soon on near, and we're just going to be starting a DAO to interface with other DAOs. Like just for example, if we want to, if there's some guild out there that we're going to partnership with some like special auctions on the platform, for example.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's helpful if we have a DAO so that we can interact with that DAO. And everything. It's really cool because obviously with Astro, it's recorded and everything's transparent.
Yeah,
I think it's a great way to kind of make sure the community knows what's going on, with community engagement and partnerships. So.
Brilliant. I'm dying to see it.
Thank you. It should be fun. I'm dying to create the DAO. I mean, I feel like I've created so many DAOs so far, but it's been so much fun. So.
Yeah.
So how many DAOs are you on, if you don't mind me asking? I'm curious.
Now I'm on one DAO. I'm on Metaverse DAO that is making this possible.
So just
for
one
me
for
to
now.
interview you.
They haven't roped you
Yeah,
into
one for now.
tons of others yet. Okay. One is good.
Yeah,
one is good.
I'm getting started. I'm going there.
There you go.
Soon I'll be in a bunch of stuff.
Hey, slow and steady. When you interview Tabea, you'll have to talk to her about this stuff. When she first got in, I think I was on the very first meeting that she had with Nier, I'm pretty sure. And she didn't really know much about crypto yet, but she was like learning about the space. And then from there, to less than a year later, I'm pretty sure. And she's in like, I don't know, more DAOs than me, I think, definitely. And she's just doing wonderful things. So we all kind of progress through the space very quickly, in my opinion.
It growing and steady, knowing people, connecting, and yeah, having a solid purpose of what I want to do and build and help people,
Mhm.
that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. And then, but I think doing it by interviews is a wonderful way of doing it.
Yeah,
I've had a
it's
few
great. I'm
interviews
loving
with
it.
different people in the space, and it's been great to learn more about the people that are experimenting in the space.
Yeah, the real people that are building near, that are building the DAOs, that is going to be awesome. I think it's really good for the world to see the real people that are making it. Like those are people. They have lives. They have dogs, and they
Exactly,
are in
and
the
it's so
metaverse.
hard, when we're not able to do so as many in-person things, especially over the past couple of
Yeah.
years. We all know it's been so difficult, and so I think so much more important, therefore, to try to show these stories and tell these stories.
Yeah.
And so with the Marma J Foundation, we're trying to. So
Yeah.
we actually have Tabea interviewing some of our own council members to tell our own stories, as well as our project stories. So yeah, I think it's so wonderful to do. But the Marma J Foundation, hopefully, we're working on getting our nonprofit established in Ontario, like in Canada now. And we're hoping to start having some in-person meetups to kind of keep that kind of vibe going of trying our best to create some sort of like just more interactions between the community. Obviously not everyone can meet up in person, and depending on as regulations are continuing to change, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Exactly, but I think the idea is to try and
Yeah.
get people in the community that maybe aren't as comfortable interfacing online, to kind of interface in person and connect. I think it's been so cool the past couple of years. I mean, how people that are used to connecting online all of a sudden are like, yes, okay, this is awesome. I'm so used to this. Let's do all this online stuff. But I think, it's also very important
And
to make sure we're keeping with the in-person connection as well. So hopefully the Marma J Foundation is going to have some local meetups soon. Looking forward to that.
it's going to be awesome. I want to see it. Why did you choose to build on your protocol? What brought
Good.
you there?
Yeah, no, good question. I definitely get this one a lot. So I knew nothing about Near until Mintbase decided to go to Near. And so I was like, I think Nate is quite intelligent. I respect him as a builder. And so I was like, okay, well, if Nate is deciding to go completely uproot his Ethereum project pretty much and go learn Rust and build on Near and do this difficult, hard, challenging thing with like 40 splits in royalties and create a
Oh
new
yeah,
standard and all
crazy.
this crazy stuff that I think helps people so much.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
Let me look into it a little bit, right? Like I'll read, and I was doing validator privacy research, and so I was doing research on different blockchains and how to create private staking pools. And so I was like, okay, let's see what Near has to offer. I was doing a lot of Ethereum research, and so I was like, let's look at another blockchain. Let's see how it differs. How are they trying to solve the problem that Near, and I was hoping it would help me learn more about Ethereum and continue working on Ethereum stuff, honestly. Um, but as I started reading the research papers that were put out by the Near team, and honestly, my favorite piece of content was the whiteboard series that is on the Near YouTube page, where Alex Gidnoff and Ilya go through like dozens of different blockchains, and they ask questions and they like dig into why things are built a certain way, and they kind of compare things to how they're building Near. And it's interesting looking back because it's like, it's before Near was live when a lot of these videos came out, and like before Solana was live and before Avalanche was live, and like before all these chains were live. And so you can see now how a lot of these chains are handling load in real life, and you can see how Near's handling things and how it's growing. And but seeing how intelligent the Near team was and how they were handling questions with other teams really made me realize that I wanted to be a part of what Near was building, I guess. That was really all it was. I think dynamic resharding is super cool. I think the idea that, as the blockchain needs more storage and more throughput, more shards will come online and more validators will get spun up. And then as, there's less need, it's almost like a highway, as you need more roads, you build them. But the problem with real life is that you can't just take back those roads. It's very difficult to just be like, oops, we don't need them anymore. Let's shrink that road again. The reason I think dynamic resharding is so interesting is that you get this way, this algorithm, this math problem that solves how to decide how to create and remove these roads as traffic is needed in the network. And so I think, hey, if I can be part of creating that, then cool. That seems valuable. And so again, I think the community is the heartbeat of any ecosystem. If we can create a vibrant community of users on Near, and I think Near has great UX. Of course, I don't just want to use it only to get the end goal. I think Near has great UX. I think people that have never used blockchain before are able to, hop on, click a link drop,
it's very
get an
easy.
account, and then all of a sudden they're using Adapt. That's wild to me. Where MetaMask can get so clunky sometimes, and once you learn these things, you get the hang of them regardless of the blockchain. But I think Near is a great way to onboard people to Web3 in
Very
general.
intuitive.
Yeah, so you can go to Near, then you can try Aurora, and if you love the Ethereum virtual machine, if you love the EVM, sure, you can start using Avalanche, and you can start using Polygon, and great. I'm happy that Near was able to teach you more things about this new Web3 ecosystem. That's so amazing to me. That's awesome. But I think Near allows for that. And it's there's so many cool, for example, I think one of the coolest things that I found that at ETH Denver was that anyone can they're making it so that it's really easy to spin up your own Aurora smart contract. I know that sounds super crazy and out there, but a DAO that gets started can grow and create their protocol and create their project. And then one day can be like, hey, we want our own Ethereum virtual machine. And they can just create it on Near. And they can use their own token as the gas token. And they can just have their own MetaMask endpoint. So the reason I think I love building on Near so much is that it allows a community, and hopefully the Marma J community, to experiment with Web3 technology in whatever way we'd like. So if we really like Polkadot and we love the substrate ecosystem, Polkadot stuff, whatever they're doing over there, we can try out the Octopus network, and we can, try creating our own app chains on Near. And if we like Ethereum, we can use Aurora and create our own EVMs. And if we want to continue using, layer one proof of stake stuff, asynchronous cross-chain Near stuff, we can do the hard stuff like Mintbase is doing, and Ref Finance is doing, and Paras, and build on layer one. And so just and you can do it for a reasonable price and again, I think the coolest part of what Near is you don't have to pay to start experimenting. So you can get started with a guild, you can get a small bounty, and that, $20 US bounty is enough in gas to experience
goes a long way.
Many apps as you like.
Yeah.
Across the
It's so cheap. I love it.
So then you can find where you feel comfortable even more, right? The next community, the second DAO you take part in, or the next NFT platform you want to use. I think one of the issues with Ethereum at times, or layer one, is that you kind of get locked into your community because it's so expensive to leave and go to different communities. Where on Near currently, I think one of the beauties of how easy it is to just go to all these communities is that you can be in 30 communities at once, and it might be a bit too much, and you can't really commit to all of them, but you can have fun, and you can experiment, and you can learn. And honestly, I think we're so early to the blockchain space that it really should just be about learning and educating ourselves and having fun and creating, and not as much about being too serious and too financial about it. So, you know, if we can have fun and create and learn and pay some bills, awesome. But I'm definitely not too worried about like the VCs and, you know, all that stuff. I think we're just kind of having fun. I think that's the point of most of this.
For even for artists that don't know how to create smart contracts and all that, it's very easy to use. And the gas fee doesn't forbid you to start. Like if you don't have a lot of money, you can start. It's not that hard. And usually you have these DAOs that will support you and maybe give you some um, initial amount so you can mint stuff. And yeah, you can get started without having to make a debt. Like I have to borrow money to do that. No, you can go
Yeah,
there
I
and
think
people
that's
will
never
help you.
fun.
Community is great.
Yeah, when artists feel like they have to like exactly borrow money. I think that's such an old concept of
Yeah.
I have to borrow money to start my endeavor or my project. I have to go to a bank or I have to get my credit card out or my debit card out. I mean, arguably, I think the whole point of Web3 is you shouldn't have to give anything. Arguably, you should be able to be incentivized by providing your attention and your creativity and your, you know, your support to a project. And I think that's kind of what we're able to get. Like it's so cool where, you know, a DAO, like you can retweet a DAO's project, and that could allow them to, you know, airdrop you a wallet, you know, with a couple of near on it in DMs, right? And that could allow you to get involved in their DAO on Astro, participate in some bounties, and all of a sudden you've got 5-10 near. You know, you could open up some of your own smart contracts, like on Mintbase, get involved in NFTs. Awesome. And the idea that at arguably no risk or loss to yourself, besides, you know, you get hacked and lose the 10 near that you got for free, hopefully, you know, by having fun on the internet, which sucks. It happens. But then, you know, I think of it like, I don't know if you played RuneScape, but I kind of think of it like being in RuneScape and being in the wilderness and you die and lose all your stuff. It happens, you know, it wasn't the end of the world. It would suck. And then you'd go back and you'd go gather some more resources and you'd go back out and have some fun. And so I think to me, that's what the metaverse is. It's this world where we can go on the internet from wherever we are, go out and gather some resources without risk to ourselves, go to some DAOs, earn some crypto, create some NFTs, you know, farm in some DeFi platforms, whatever we have fun doing. And hopefully start to have fun, experiment, and grow something sustainable that we can build upon as a community. I mean, hopefully we're not going out to the wilderness that often and losing our gear. That's not something we want to happen. I definitely like staying in a PvE environment myself these days. But honestly, one of the really cool things about blockchain is that you are allowed to have these PvP environments that do fund the rest of these initiatives, which is really cool. Another point. So.
And that's what I was going to ask next. What are your thoughts on the metaverse? How do you think that having a virtual space is helping your DAOs reach their objectives more efficiently, or communicate with people, interact? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so again, to me, metaverse is like just being able to do like what we're doing online. So I mean, when I was a preteen, I'd be in the Toronto library, like grinding RuneScape gold and selling it to my friends to buy patties. And so to me, that was the metaverse, where I was going online and I was earning resources and selling them to, you know, fund what I was doing, my childhood projects of eating something yummy. But I think obviously with Web3 tech and blockchain, we have more efficient like virtual worlds and virtual experiences that allow us to have a more expansive metaverse, like a metaverse with a lot more detail, a lot more people involved, and with a lot more initiative. So living like their entire lives in this ecosystem. Like I think I have the majority of the assets I care about are like digital or blockchain assets. And so I think virtual worlds really help to communicate. I think that was a good word that you used. It really helps us to communicate with people that may not understand the metaverse yet. I think the metaverse has been around for a long time. I think a lot of people that are into crypto understand that we've been, playing Second Life or Minecraft or RuneScape. These are all really vibrant, basically metaverse worlds. We've been putting our credit card in for a very long time, paying for these things. We know that we know that there's economies there, but a lot of people don't understand yet. And so I think the more different types of creative virtual worlds that we can create, it makes it clearer to people what we're trying to build. And I think it's really cool, like for the Marma J Chan gallery that we have in Near Hub, what was really cool is that as we were able to put up people's artwork, even for our own community, like we don't really communicate, or I don't communicate much with like external communities from the Marma J Foundation. It's really about, for me, trying to build this internal community as much as we can and growing it, of course, as large as we can, but really trying to create some sort of family and just trying to build upon itself. But getting DMs from some of our artists, with how excited they were to be shared in the VR space, and how cool it was to pop in a link and see it. And it really kind of shows the difference, because honestly, for me, I've been experiencing virtual galleries for years. I've been flying around cryptovoxels for a really long time. And so
I love it.
It doesn't seem that exciting for me, honestly. It just seems very just task oriented, like, okay, I want to show the art, so I'm going to put it up. But then seeing how the community feels so supported and how they're able to now communicate with their friends and family. So now they can take that link and show their teachers or show their friends and say, hey, look, I'm displayed in this gallery with all these other artists. This is real. So even though for me, all I need is the blockchain. I can go on the CLI and I can be like, oh, it's real. That's what I like. But when my mom sees my validator running in my living room and she sees all the logs, to her it's gibberish, right? To her it's like, I don't know what this means.
I don't get it.
To me, I'm like, oh, look, I'm connected to all my peers. It looks good. So I think what the virtual worlds give us is this way to connect to different types of people. Some people like more pixelated worlds, like cryptovoxels. Some people like more realistic worlds. There's plenty of virtual worlds in the Near system already. And I think it's like video games. There's going to be different types of video games that cater to different audiences. And I think I know on Near there's plenty in the works, and there's already plenty that are alive. But I think there needs to, for a vibrant metaverse to exist, where everybody feels as though they can take part. In my opinion, you obviously need to have multiple different variations of what the metaverse looks like, or what the virtual interfaces look like. Because for me, you can make it look like World of Warcraft and I'm happy. Yeah, you can make most of my interactions a video game and I'm going to be playing that all day. But my mother, that's not the interface she's looking for when she's looking for the metaverse. When she's looking for an online experience where she can gather resources and interact with community, she's probably not looking for a video game. But when she sees virtual worlds and art galleries, she somewhat understands. But this was actually the funny thing with her. She only understood it when she saw her art inside of it. So when I was showing her other people's galleries, she was like, I get it, but I wouldn't buy it. That was her thing. And then she started realizing that it could be a way just to, like how you have websites to like Instagram or Facebook to express your creativity. That these virtual worlds, exactly, you could just use it to share and be social with those that you care about. Except that in the crypto space, by letting your space be open to others and having your creativity be for sale, you can also fund that creativity. So some
Yeah.
people have some really pretty Instagram accounts. Like I've seen some very beautiful Instagram accounts. And I think that the Web3 space is not that sophisticated yet, but what it does give us is a way to fund those those accounts or those spaces directly, and fund creatives directly for what they're creating and what they're putting together. And I think that's really cool, the way that we can do that. You can, like, for example, you could mint on Mintbase, create a little 3XR gallery, or you don't even have to even mint on Mintbase. You can create a 3XR gallery for free.
Yeah.
And that becomes like a little that becomes a little 3D Instagram page that you can go sell, to fund charities, to fund whatever initiatives that you care about. And so at the Marma J Foundation, we try and fund social good initiatives. We try and fund, like for the Valentine's Day card event, we're trying to fund a young man named Maxime, who sadly was diagnosed with brain cancer recently. And so he's going through chemotherapy and radiation treatments. And so again, we've raised, I think, like 14 or 15 years so far. So for us, it's definitely not about like the magnitude of funds that we raise. It's more about showcasing how this could be used to raise funds for initiative, and then just using those funds and saying, hey, here's the private key to this account, or here's the funds, however it's most easy for you to use. If it helps you get to the hospital one more time, or if it helps you do one more thing, that's awesome. But the ability to do any kind of good simply from community creation is kind of what we're trying to just educate communities about. Just trying to show them that, hey, you can just, go find some art that you like, put it together in a gallery, and then put it for sale, and then try and market it, and then raise funds for a charity. You can go do that and then give up. I mean, I remember in my early days of blockchain, I loved this certain project, and all I wanted to do was run their charity marketing campaign. That's all I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was go around the streets of my local area, giving out like blankets and toothbrushes, but I was like, hey, you can brand it all with your project and I'll go out and help. But I couldn't get the funding. Like, first, I was trying, I was talking to everyone, they wouldn't give me the funding. But what I love about the real Web3 space, the real crypto space, is that you don't need to ask permission from anybody to go out and try and fund a project. You can just, get your little 5 near bounty, go create some galleries every day, go out and try and find the best NFTs and create your galleries, and people can support you, and you can go out and show what you're doing with the funds. And in my opinion, with how supportive the Near community is, if someone was out there showing what they were doing with their funds every day, creating new galleries, taking screenshots of who they were helping, creating new NFTs of that, creating galleries of that, going out and helping people, they would probably, be fine. Let's put it that way. They'd probably have some support. And so the Marma J Foundation is just about trying our best to show people that you can do this stuff. You can just go to your local beach and just start picking up trash and take pictures of yourself and create NFTs to fund your project. And that project could become a DAO of people all around the world picking up trash. And then you could create some sort of protocol or some sort of DApp, because there could be funding at a hackathon where with your DAO, Near Foundation could give you $30,000 towards an idea. And then all of a sudden you can have a bunch of devs from the education side of things at Near University, from the Near Certified Developer Program, building your DApp and they could be funded from grants from the Near Foundation. And all of a sudden, you wanting to clean up your local beach and the beaches around you can turn into this protocol where people are incentivized for going out and picking up trash and coming together.
It's a real change in the world, right?
Exactly. Just by, and it is possible. I'm not saying it's going to be easy or that we'll figure it out in a year or 2 years or even 10 years, but we can have fun and learn along the way. I think is a really cool way. Like, people are having fun, learning and paying their bills as we're building these systems together, which is really cool.
Connecting. It's really a brilliant idea, a brilliant thought that actually it gives us hope.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what's going to keep us going at some point, right? I mean, I think the hope for me that keeps me going is that, again, everyone will be able to be creative as they please, or work on what gives them contentness in life or makes them content. And hopefully that will be able to support those around them, and also be enough to support themselves. And I think that we already have that in the Web2 world, which is great. But I think the problem is there's so many people in the world that can't support themselves for whatever reason. Doesn't really matter the reason, whether they don't want to, whether they're unable to because of their circumstances. And I think what Web3 gives us is a way to also fund those initiatives and those projects. So yes, we can still create what we like, but we can have 1% royalties towards those that can't support themselves. And just by doing what we're already doing, there could be automated ways and automated, transparent ways of funding other initiatives, which hopefully can be built in as well.
Right.
Hopefully.
Really good.
That's what we're hoping for.
Fingers crossed. So, what are your plans for your future, of the future of your DAO and your metaverse presence? For Marma J Foundation, for instance, do you plan to make parties, events?
Yeah, so we already talked about the fact that you want to have in real life events.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to coincide those with virtual events. So that's the main plan, hopefully, is that the main goal is that whenever we have these in-person events, we're not leaving out the rest of our Marma J family, and we're able to
bring them.
Exactly, bring them all
Here's my notebook.
in VR. So whether they want to come on Ethereum and come through CryptoVoxels, or whether they want to come through Near and come through Near Hub, those are our main two virtual spaces.
Near Hub's growing, right?
Yeah. Sorry?
I said Near Hub is growing.
Near Hub is growing quickly. So we're definitely planning on getting a lot more involved with the Near Hub space, the Marma J Chan house. So the first initial, and we interface with through 3XR through there. So the idea is, currently we have a short story project where a lot of community members are writing short stories about Marma J Chan. The idea is to mint these as like literary NFTs, and then hopefully
I saw this.
Yeah, and then hopefully eventually have a bunch of 3XR galleries on the wall for each project that we've had in the past. So first, we're going to have all our book NFTs interfacing with 3XR that way. So we're hoping to interface with virtual reality worlds or VR worlds in a number of ways, hopefully. I mean, I'm not sure it's truly VR for some of these worlds. Although I know Lewish's 3XR world is VR and such. But I think with Near Hubs, we're hoping to interface a lot more with the Marma J token as well. And trying, because I know for Near Hub, the space can only handle a certain number of people. And so the goal, before you get different rooms. So for example, if we have 400 people there, at the moment they could make multiple rooms, but we wouldn't all be in the same room. And so I think what would be really fun, or for now, would be trying to have a room where, let's say you have to hold a certain number of Marma J tokens in order to get into the room. But then obviously people are earning Marma J just for coming to events and, attending, our calls. And so they don't have to buy into anything. If that's their choice, obviously you can't stop them. But the idea is people could just be part of your community, earn these tokens, and then, take part in the Near Hub space. And we could also have it with NFTs as well. So if you hold one of these NFTs, you can come to this space. And as Near Hub grows and allows for more and more people into one space, we can kind of use that to loosen the restrictions on the token gating, if that makes sense. So, hopefully, we try and make it so only 30 or 40 people have the access to come. And then obviously over time, we want to have as many people that can come in a virtual space. But as I'm sure you've noticed, if you're in the Metaverse DAO, when you're trying to have virtual events, if you don't have the features, for example, like noise suppression or other things, it can be very difficult to have intimate meetups in VR. And we want it to work, right? We want this, if we're having real life meetup. We want to make sure everyone can, take part and have fun in the space. So that's our plans currently for how we're going to interact with VR. Past that, we're kind of hoping just to interact with our token more in general and try and experiment with more utility features. The Marma J token's honestly just a token we just distribute from the DAO to support projects. So we want to try and build in some ways where the people that earn the token, the only use case isn't to sell it to fund a project. We want to build in maybe some governance use cases with staking the token in the DAO and being able to poll and vote on proposals. We want to work on maybe being able to buy select NFT collections with the Marma J token would be super cool. I'm pretty sure Paras is working on allowing like fungible tokens to be used on their platform for NFT purposes. And yeah, I know Near Hubs, for example, is also, I know I was talking to Jeff about like being able to tip people. I think that would be super cool. So one of the use cases of the VR space would be having creatives or members of our community actually come up in VR and maybe present or speak, hopefully at some time. And then hopefully we could actually tip the people. I also think about like having live shows or like live creative shows where
I'd love to see that.
To the artist, like you could say, hey, this person's the artist, and you can like stream to them forever, how long they stay up. So we're hoping to get into these types of things. Obviously, it depends. A lot of these tools aren't built yet in the Near ecosystem, and so we're hoping to play
so
with
early.
I know, right? We're hoping to play with these tools as they get built. But for now, playing a lot with virtual galleries and virtual NFT spaces.
I'm loving to see all that being developed.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So, well, that question sometimes is a bit hard to answer, but yeah, I think you can do it. What legacy would you like to leave to future creatives and builders? Like,
yeah, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? Yeah, so I feel like I've touched on it a few times. I feel like I just want to, if it's a legacy of sorts, I guess in general, I want like the Marma J DAO to kind of be this self-sufficient mechanism that's able to support creatives. Like the idea would be that, for generations to come, creatives know that there's this funding or support mechanism out there that is able to support their dreams and their projects and their creativity, as long as it supports, positivity and supporting others. I think that's a good enough endeavor to support. And so the goal is that anyone that's out there that has an idea that feels like they need some support to get there a little further, the Marma J DAO should have enough support systems or enough resources to try and support them. It's quite like a large goal, I think, to get to that point where everyone in the world just knows that, the Marma J DAO is out there. But I think blockchain allows for this potential permanence, right? Like if we assume the blockchain survives the next 100 years, and we assume that the Near token survives the next 100 years, and if the DAO owns liquidity, and the DAO has tokens, and we automate some of these features and some of these support systems, then potentially we could have a system where, people, 1,000 NFTs go on sale at the beginning of the year. There's some sort of way to, bid on these NFTs to try and get membership to the DAO and do decentralized KYC. Maybe that gives you some sort of like health insurance and some sort of benefit as being part of this association, right? And then maybe doing that, people are allowed to submit their proposals to the DAO to get support. And if you're a member, you're able to, take part in some sort of decision-making and fund these initiatives. I don't know, right? Maybe this is a way that we can start building these automated systems. And then hopefully at one day, the Marma J DAO specifically can grow to be this wonderful thing. That's like, I guess, my ego speaking. But I don't really care that much. To me, it's whatever system ends up surviving and being there in the future to fund all of this. I want to see that exist. I want to know, or I guess I don't really care about seeing it exist. I want it to be there. I mean, I have a young son, Amory. So if you ever watch this, Amory, love you.
Oh,
Yeah, he's 5.5,
yeah.
turning 6 soon. In
Oh,
August. But I guess the legacy is that, he will grow up in a world where he's able to efficiently and sustainably be creative and support his community by doing so, and feel, feel confident in what he's doing and being able to do that. I think that everyone should have that ability. And so that, I do it obviously selfishly so that my son can live in this future beautiful world where everyone gets
yeah.
to selfishly, of course, also I work on the Marma J Foundation to show one way of doing it that I think might work. But I think what's beautiful about the Web3 space is that most things are open source, or we try and be as open as possible. And so even if I'm able to work on the Marma J Foundation and build a community that contributes some small way to this future system where everyone's able to receive some support for spreading love and positivity, glad to take part. And so hopefully many others will come on board.
A beautiful idea, beautiful feeling that you want to spread to people. It all looks. I'm cheering for you.
Thank
Yay, go
you.
Mama
Thank
J.
you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, we're out here just having fun. So if you ever want to follow along, obviously you've already seen our website, and
For sure.
Bianca, my fiance, does a great job showcasing what we're working on. And yeah, we're just out
Congrats to
here
her.
trying to continue.
Congrats, Bianca. You
Yeah,
rule.
smiling now. Yeah.
So the last question, if you could give some words of wisdom to those who are starting now, what would you say to them?
I guess first, move fast and break things. Definitely. Like, have fun. I think actually Sharif, head of the education team, the best lesson he ever taught me working with him was just to keep moving forward. Just keep building, keep going. Mistakes are going to get made. It's never going to be perfect, but the next time, use what you learned and just make it better. I remember I spent so long trying to make one of the videos I did for him like perfect. And his advice was just make
I
another video.
understand you. Yeah.
Just make another
I'm
video.
just like that.
Instead of spending 10 hours making one video perfect, if the first video is good enough, if it's like 90%, if it's understandable and it's there, and it took you 1 hour to make that video, you could spend 10 hours making 10 more videos. And by the time you got to the 11th video, right, you probably would have gotten so much better anyway that now you have 11 videos complete and you've learned so much. So
Yeah.
you got 90%, 93%, 95%, 99%. And then by the time you get to the end, it's way better than the first video, but you're continuing, you just keep going. So I guess all I can say is the Web3 space moves so fast that if you try and make anything perfect, things are going to change. The tools are going to change.
Timing.
And it moves too fast. So have fun, find your niche where you're able. I think the Web3 space, there's always a spot for everybody where they can just have fun learning and then somehow earn. Like they have all these like gimmicky names like learn to earn and like play to earn and play and earn and whatever it is. Yes, this is the Web3 space where you can do whatever you'd like and there can be incentives attached. So my advice would be go out there, do what you love to do, learn about it as much as you can and have fun, and build a community. Definitely get involved with a community. Don't do it on your own. That's definitely, move fast and break things with a community. That is the advice. Doing it on your own is no fun. It's not, the community is what you remember when all the projects is a bear market and you lost your wallet and someone hacked you and all of this. Community is what makes you laugh and have fun and, keep having experimenting with things. So
what stays with you after.
Exactly. You always remember
Uh,
remember the friendships you make in the communities.
this interview was a great pleasure. I loved hearing everything you said, and Marma J's future looks very bright.
Thank you
I'm
so
happy
much,
for you
Klara.
to
Really
be
appreciate
here.
it. And hopefully you get involved with one of our future events or bounties. I don't know if you like
Yeah,
writing, but you can write about Marma J Chan.
I'm an artist, but I do stuff. I do everything.
I honestly, that's what you just do. Yeah, do everything. There you go. So, and we're hoping to open up our bounties soon. I say soon, but might be a few months. And the idea is that the community will be able to just submit open proposals for funding projects that support love and creativity.
Oh, awesome.
And the council, hopefully of token holders, will help us decide if we're doing a good job or not, at least. So we might still fund them as a more centralized council, but we definitely want to wait until the community is able to let us know more efficiently how we're doing before we move into that. And we got to get the nonprofit set up. But thank you so much,
Very.
Klara, for the interview.
Oh, thank you. You've been great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was so much fun chatting with you. I'm sure we'll chat more. Because
Sure,
now you're in the
sure.
near ecosystem, you're stuck with us.
Yay!
Sounds great. Okay. Have a wonderful
It's a
rest of your
great crowd
day.
to be stuck with.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. It is fun
Thank
here.
you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your
Bye.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.